What's good, YouTube? It's your boy MG Mecham Gaming coming at you again with a very exciting video. Today, Idle Legends released 2 new playable characters. We're going to go over their kits on them, how they rank up to the existing other 70 characters that are in game, how they fit into the Goblin synergies, and break them down into how do they stat-wise fit amongst mages and I think the other classes, craftsmen, and just see how they do amongst their peers, so to speak, in the game. But first, I've been saving some crystals and some pulls. Hopefully I can get one or both of those, but they're both epic characters. So let's go and let me see if I can go to the cavern here. I don't have any there. Let's see if I get lucky and maybe get one. Oh, okay, that's not good. I guess the first time I ever got that hero. Okay, it didn't seem like it. Oh, so I guess they must have reset this or something, because I've already had these characters. So yeah, so here we go. I've already got those. I wonder if we get the additional 100 crystals for unlocking each character. Or I hope so. That'll be really good. So I'll have pulls here. I like to pull the 10. It just seems like it's faster, and I just feel like I just get better luck sometimes. So hoping for obviously some legendary. I don't have Klaus. I would love to get Klaus, and even though I don't play the goblins, it would be nice to unlock one or both of them, or any of the goblins. I really don't play any of them. I don't even think I have like the other Crank and the other KV one opened up yet. So let's see. Let's pull all 10 and see what we get here. And the winner goes to, that's not good, like when a bunch flip over like that, like the commons. So now we have blue, which I know I can upgrade her to a 4-star and then move her along in that tier. And we get, oh, unfortunately, actually, she's a good character, good playable character. I think I have 3 more pulls, no goblins. So let's see, the 3 pulls would get me this, which is the gold for 24 hours, which is not really what I want, but I like the little card that comes with it, where you get to pull. Let's see here, Sapphire, I already have her. Come on, Ludi, come on, and the winner is, oh. So no new goblins today, but I do get that. Let me see if I have anything in the bag here to pull. Oh, yes, I have. Let me use these real quick. Okay, don't really care. So I do have 1 pull here, which gives me a chance to get one of the goblins. And let's see if I get lucky or not. Cross your fingers, everyone. Oh, I wonder. I think that wish list is not for. It's for the other thing. I thought it was for that one. So let's go over here. Let's pull this one. I'm hoping for a purple. Cross your fingers. Oh, it's a purple, but it's Gwilym. But I already have a lot of him. Didn't get anyone that I wanted, but let's go over here and look at their kits. Unfortunately, I did not get either one of them, but as you can see, the first one is here, GN-Z11. So we'll go over his kit really fast. I'm mostly going to go over just where they are. So obviously, he is a goblin and a mage, and his ability is Energy Impulse. Produces a radiant impulse that travels up to 420. Enemies within that receive 3600 damage plus their attack damage times 2.5 magic damage. That seems like a lot of damage. And get silenced for 0.5 seconds while allies inside get 300 points of energy. Wow. So this ability does several things here. First, it moves, so it's a traveling one, so it's not just stagnant around him. They receive a base damage plus their attack base damage, and that's a pretty big modifier, 2.5, and it silences them, and each of their allies get 300 points inside. Okay, so anyone who's inside of this radius will get 300 points of energy, and as you know, energy is key to releasing their, what I call their ultimates, but their active skills. It just helps them get there faster, so they're not having to wait. As soon as they get it, they can release it. That seems good. I think as you probably move up in levels, I guess that is level 12. I wonder if that is level 12 because 0.5 seconds seems kind of low. I can imagine like what the first one is. So these numbers are the ones that probably move up. I would imagine probably this attack number, this base number here, and then how much energy that they receive. Because as you know, as you upgrade these, their ultimates, sometimes some numbers change. So it's hard to know what's going to change. But 0.5 seconds, it would be good if it was a base item. And then as you move up, it becomes like 2.5 seconds as you get to level 12. But I think this is level 12, and so it is 0.5. So that probably stays stagnant, of course. So his unique item, I looked at it earlier, and I think this is a really good item that you can get in game, assuming you can get this. So for every 2 seconds, it recovers 1 allied units for 200 points of energy and reduces their cooldowns by 2 seconds. And then all allied units highest energy points would be targeted. So what this is effectively saying is that it's going to find the unit with the highest energy points. I think it's going to give them 200 points of energy, and it's going to reduce their cooldowns by 2 seconds. And he's doing this every 2 seconds that he's in play. So this technically should mean that all of his allied units should be able to get a rotation of this, especially, if a match lashes 10-15 seconds, that's already 5 units that he's going to give 200 points of energy to and reduce their cooldowns by 2 seconds. So that's a really good number right there. Really good tune, but we'll see how he plays out. So I wish that you could have like other tunes in here so you can see. So that must have been his ultimate releasing, and I wish it would put like a little field around him so that you could see. So I wonder if he's the only one, if he gets his own energy. So as you can see, he's gaining energy. So as he releases that, you see, I think he immediately got the 200 points of energy because he's the only one left. So I wonder if it applies to himself as a solo character, if he's the last one left on the team. So the second character that they introduced today was B00-, which obviously means boom. So you can already guess what type of character he's going to be. His active skill is a 15-second cooldown. So it plants a bomb, detonates it 2 seconds later. It deals 3,600 base damage plus their attack damage times 2.5 physical damage to enemies within a 420 radius. So that sounds pretty stagnant. So he's probably just gonna place a bomb here. When 12 seconds goes by, it's gonna blow up, probably damage both units, killed that one, and then that's just him all day. So let's go back out and let's see what his unique item does. So he places a landmine 2 grids ahead and detonates it 6 seconds later. So this is outside of his normal placing that little keg on the ground. So the landmine deals attack times 3. So his attack times 3 magical damage. So this attack is a magical damage one, and applies a detonator to the surrounding enemies for 3 seconds. So as this mine goes off, it detonates and it places some type of debuff on them, so that the physical damage dealt to the target with the detonator is deepened by 20%. So he will, I guess what he'll do, he seems like he's going to be walking around a lot. So he'll walk up, or let me see here, he'll just automatically, I guess, throw the landmine 2 spaces ahead of him. So that usually means that there should be like a crowd of enemies around him. Hopefully there is. And then as it detonates, it does this damage. And then also for 3 seconds, those that were around that took the initial damage, if they did not die, they will get a debuff in which any physical damage that they get is deepened by 20%. So that is like a 2-part magical damage and physical damage here at the end. That's actually pretty good. So what I'm going to go do now is try to show you the 2 narrow characters, Goblin, one is Mage, one is Craftsman. How do they stack up with the existing, all the rest of the characters that are in game? How do they stack up against amongst their peers, amongst the Goblins? And then how do they stack up how does GN compare to the rest of the mages that are already in game, and how does Boom compare to the rest of the craftsmen that are in game. So I'm going to go ahead and change some configurations here. I'll be back. Okay, we're back. For those that don't know, this is an advanced toolkit spreadsheet that I created for Idle Legend. The link to download your very own copy will be posted below in the comment section. So as you can see, I've already entered the two new characters, Boom and GZ. As you can see, they're both epic characters. So they both have a max level of 240. The max red stars they can get is 5. But let's see how they rank amongst everyone else on this team as far as power. So coming in at number 16, is Boom. So his power level is 216, which really is not really an indicator for anything. And then here you have GN, which is 191. And then we're going to go over the first base stat of health. Boom ranks higher again, so he's ranked number 19th amongst all the other characters in game for the highest health pool. And then coming in at GZ is number 45. Let's go for the attack. Though they're actually pretty close to each other, actually really like 20 and 21. So both their attacks right here are pretty comparable. I mean, they're like really one after the other. So number 20 and 21 as far as attacks go. So let's look at their physical defense. So Boom has, again, he seems to have the higher physical defense. So at 47, he ranks number 16. And then way down here, we have GN, who ranks pretty much 65th in the game as far as physical defense. So that's pretty low. And as you can see, he is an epic. And there's a couple epics down here. I will just say Winfred and Bronco are the other two epics that are in question here. Iggy doesn't count. But as you can see, they are below some common characters. Even like a legendary down here, but just some common and rare characters, so it just gives it a little bit of balance. But as you know, those characters who are usually least in one aspect are usually most in the other. So I would assume that GN will have a really high magical defense. So let's see where he is. So yes, as you can see, GN moved up to 16th in the game for. I mean, it's actually a tie right here at 10th, but that is pretty high for magical defense. And then come Boom, who's ranked probably 35th in game for magical defense. The attack ranges from, as we know that GN is a mage, so he has the longest range. And then usually anything afterwards, like craftsmen, warriors, or whatever, will have a shorter range. But his is a mid range, not you have to be right next to the person. So his range is 420. Speed, as you know, is very critical in a game. It could be the difference between losing and or winning. So we obviously the lower the speed, the better. And Boom ranks in at the 1.4 range, so 27. But as you can see, there's a bunch of characters who are also 1.4 speed. So that's where he ranks. And then way down here towards the bottom at a slow 1.6 actually is a GN. As you can see, there's not that many speeds that are afterwards. Actually, just 3 characters who are slower than a 1.6 speed. Next is the DPS range, or the rating, in which I calculate how much DPS that they should be doing, and the larger the number, the better. And Boom is ranked 21. You would expect, because he did have a high. They are both pretty close in attack power, because remember they're like 20 and 21. But the deciding factor is his speed. So the 1.4 will get you a rank 21. Where a 1.6 will get you a rank 34. So you can definitely see this is a very good visual on how speed plays in to the DPS that a character can do. Because you can remember, so here they are ranked 21 and 34, but here in attack, they're right next to each other pretty much. Well, they were, I think, it's just that the way that it sorted it. So they're really right next to each other. Next, we're going to go over their base stats, which is the base stats I consider their health, the attack, physical defense, and magical defense. So these are their base stats, which is for every character. These don't really count for the base stats. So as far as base stats, where do these characters lie? Ranking up again, Boom is number 17. So base stat wise, he's actually a pretty good character at 17. And then coming down here at number 44, this is a pretty high number, 140. So the base stats, I mean, I think that the physical defense was pretty low. The health was kind of low. So there's a lot. Not necessarily saying that he's a bad character. He has a lot of utility. But as far as base stats, that's where he lies. Overall is the overall character, including their DPS rating. So it's taking in all their stats for the base stats plus their DPS rating, and which will give you your overall rating and the lowest number. And coming in at number 18, so I think he only moved down one slot. But as you can see, Boom is shaping up to be overall average character. And sometimes I consider an overall average character is a character probably that you can put in solo without a lot of synergies. Not saying I would suggest it, but it could be a character that could be solo without a lot of other characters that give it a lot of support. They can pretty much be able to do the damage or do what they need to do on their own. Whereas when you come down here to lore ones, they do need a lot of support in order to get their synergies activated. And then coming down here, GN is ranked like 48th, so pretty low on the list. So what I'm going to go do now, so this is the two characters ranked amongst the other 70 characters that are in game. So I want to know, how do they stack up against the peers? So how do these goblins stack up to the existing goblins that were in game? So there are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goblins. There were 6, now there are 8 goblins in game. We're just going to go over just the large stats here. We've already went over the health and everything else, but as you can see, they're highlighted where they stand. As far as the DPS rating, Boom has ranked is second, does the second most damage amongst the team of goblin teams. So this is pretty much can help you. I think 6 is a synergy, is the highest synergy that you need to get like the best effect for. I think it's like they get them, allied goblins, and all other allies get like regen. I think it's like 5 or something like that per second. We'll go over that later, but I know that theirs is a regen. I think it is. So this is where they lie. Let's go over here. This was their DPS rating. So base stat wise, we're going to see that Boom has the best base stats amongst this team. This is the health, attack, physical defense, and magical defense. And overall, not much has changed there. He is still pretty high on this list. Like Boom is shaping up, like I said, to be a really good, could be a solo character amongst another team that has maybe some good synergies, and then you might need his utility versus his synergy of having other goblins with him on the team. GN definitely needs synergy because he is ranking down low, so he will need the synergy of either other mages and or probably more likely the goblins just to help him. But obviously Boom being on a team of all goblins or 6 other goblins is definitely going to help him a lot. So now we're going to go over that's how they are amongst the goblins. One is craftsman, the other one is mage. So let's see how each goblin stacks up against their other their assigned trait. So we'll go craftsman. Give me a sec here. Oh, we only want craftsman on this one. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh. So as you can see in game, there are only 5 craftsmen in game. 2 dwarves and then actually 3 are goblins. Let's see here. Amongst the DPS, as far as a craftsman who does the most DPS, so Boom is obviously Cannon is a legendary, so he will probably more likely rank underneath him. But as you can see, out of the other ones that are existing in game, that he out DPSs them all. And I think this is pretty much flow almost for the rest of them. We'll see here. Cannon, he is a craftsman. I think craftsmen do get. I think when it takes 3 of them, and when any of the 3 die, they blow up, causing damage to those that are around them. Base stat wise, he's ranked middle tier, right in the middle. And then for overall, again, he ranked right in the middle amongst them. So Crank is looking to be like a pretty good character, but he's a dwarf. But amongst the goblins, he ranks the best out of the other 2 craftsmen on the team. So if you're building a team and you want to say, well, you want to build a team with 3 craftsmen, which 3 craftsmen do you want? If you're not caring about the goblin synergy, if you rather use the dwarf synergy, then you can definitely choose. This will help you decide, like, you should probably take one of these 2 or both of them, and maybe one of each. But right now, like, both of these, we're looking to be better craftsmen on the team if you wanted the craftsman team of 3. So let's go over the last mage. And we're going to go over the base stat or DPS first. So DPS wise, GN is ranked 2nd, doing the 2nd most damage, which is actually pretty high considering he is just amongst all the characters and just amongst the mages that he's like that's pretty high DPS to be ranked 2nd. His base stats are ranked 3rd, and overall is ranked 4th. So definitely amongst his peers. So if you're looking for an all mage team, like, he should definitely be in your top 6, 4 or 4, because they have synergies for 2, 4, and 6. He should definitely be in your top tier in that. Definitely in the 4 and definitely in the 6. But maybe in the 2 you have to look at and see what other things are. But this is really good to see how the two new characters that have been introduced in the game, how they stack up to each other, how they stack up to the existing characters, how they stack up attribute wise amongst the other goblins, and amongst their real trait of being a mage and or a craftsman. So let me go back to the game. Okay, welcome back to the 3rd part of the video. And this I'm briefly going to go over their synergies on the teams that they play on. It should be Goblin, Craftsman, and Mage. So here are all the goblins. And as you can see, there are 8 goblins, but you only need 6 to get the synergy from it. I mean, you can obviously do less, but as you can see, the effects are lessened. So here are the 2 newest ones up here at the top. I think when rating them, I think both of these, if you had to pick 6, would definitely be at the top, assuming, because they are epic, assuming that you can get enough to level them up in the star levels. Because obviously these 4 down here, because they're common, rare, are going to be easier to get, because you will still need certain shards of him at 4 stars for each of these to be able to upgrade them, because you're not going to get, you're not going to pull a 3-star of him compared to all these. So you always have to take in that consideration. Just because they're up at the top or they're 4 stars or they're epic or whatever, sometimes a common character who's at a higher star level, granted, is probably going to be at least 2 or 3 star levels above, depending on synergies, but one-on-one, definitely 2 or 3 star levels above, to be able to take on, an epic or legendary character. So that is the goblin synergies there. I think both of these, if I had a choice of making a team, it would be definitely these three right here. These four. Not because they're the highest, because I've seen the gameplay and their synergies that they have. So if I did take a goblin, I'll probably take these four and then find another team of some other things to help boost their synergies. If I had to make a 5 and a 6, definitely would probably go these two, just to round out the 6. Exclude these two. Yeah, that would be my suggestion, but that's just me. I think the other ones was Mage. I think Mage is probably like the highest class of 9-10 characters, so you only have to choose 6. So I'm glad that they're increasing the amount of characters, so it gives you a better choice. Oh, actually, you know what? There's actually only 9. No one ever uses this Eggy, so there's actually only 9 to choose from. Unless you're just elite and the rest of your team kicks ass, and you just need this 6-1, and you decide just to be a troll, troll people, and have Eggy out there. But yes, so there's actually only 9, but you do need 6 to get this 80% magic damage received to increase it. Definitely these 3, definitely, because I think he ranked 1 or 2 amongst all the range. I think second behind the dragon in DPS, and then right in the middle as far as stat wise for amongst the mages. These 3 definitely. If I had to choose a 4th, I guess I like his slowing effect, and I think speed ups and slowdowns are very critical in a game that just auto plays. So the faster your team can go, and the slower their team goes, it's a win for you. If I had to choose a 5 and 6, I like her utility, in which she regenerates health every second or something like that. She gives their team energy all the time. So like I said, the energy to get ultimates off. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6 will probably be one of these 2. Just more likely him. Just because I think he teleports or something like that, and he does like a line across and does damage across. So those would be my choosing for a 6 team, for a team of 6. And then last is the craftsman team, which I have not seen anyone use this. I've not went against anyone that's used this craftsman team of 3, but I mean, so there was only, because I only have, even if I wanted to, I couldn't, because I only have just these 2 characters to do this. So you need 3 in order to do this. So like, if you have 3, when they die, it deals damage around them. Wherever their attack damage times 3 around them, which I think is like almost like an extra hit. It's like a suicide hit almost. Like as they die, they go off and hopefully take a couple other characters with them, and more than likely they will have characters around them, surrounding them, so that could be very beneficial depending on the levels of which your characters are. And he was definitely ranked high amongst this team here. I think only behind Crank. This one, Crank. Oh no, Cannon. Sorry, he was behind Cannon. So he ranked 2nd amongst this team. So definitely bringing these 2 in. Both of these are very good characters. I like that he lays down a turret, and then he's very, very tanky, very, very tanky. It's just really a matter of your preference, whoever probably has the highest level, and or if you're running a goblin team, and or if you're running a dwarf team, will just be a dictator of. I mean, you already have, so you get the choice of either running dwarfs and or goblins, because you're gonna have 2 of 2, so you might as well you're automatically going to get 2. Assuming you've run these 2, you're going to get 1 of 1. But if you run these 2 plus that 1, then you should probably run the rest with dwarfs. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully you guys have found this breakdown of the 2 new characters helpful, how they rank amongst each other, amongst the other people. And again, that spreadsheet will be able to be free for download in the comment section, or in the section below. So thanks for watching.